can speak on that because in another life, I was a police officer. And I have an Act 120 certificate. You're supposed to identify a threat, unholster your weapon, fire your weapon, not to kill if not necessary, but to neutralize that threat. The question became, where was the threat that these officers felt when they fired into the crowd of black people enjoying their family time with their children? The threat was allegedly around the corner. So we're here today at this decertification hearing because this young man is attempting to be charged as an adult. And we see that as a gross injustice. He should be charged as a juvenile. Whatever happened when he was a juvenile. He has great representation, as you can see. He has a strong legal team, as you can see. So we're asking all of you that view this live to get in touch with the family, get in touch with those that are on the support team so that this does not happen. We are calling for uniform treatment and uniform charges in this justice system. Now, we all came here today for a hearing, which now has been rescheduled for December 14th. So if you can be here at the Delaware County Courthouse, December 14th, we ask you to be here on that day. And then there'll be more proceedings after that, but we want to continue to show a strong level of support for this gross injustice. And particularly as a member of clergy, I'm encouraging clergy to get more involved. We're involved as police chaplains, but I don't think that the police need the assistance of the black clergy. They have the highest level of budget. They have all the resources that they need. The community needs the clergy. We can't save the people if we don't serve the people. We can't lead the people if we don't love the people. So I'm asking for faith practitioners of all faiths, traditions, to support this just cause, that we might have this young man treated fairly under the law. Thank you.
And here's
Courtroom number 4. Courtroom number 4.
Excuse me, my name is Kalima, and here's a flyer. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I can't blow it up. Can you see it? I don't know how to blow it up. But my contact information is on here. If you need any further information, you can contact me.
Deck 8, pack the court. Right.
Yeah, this was for today, but I'm saying my contact information is on here. So who's going live? I can get closer to your phone. You'll be able to.
All right, Kalima, cool.
I don't know how to do it.
Real quick.
Thank you.
You're
welcome, Go ahead.
Before I just give y'all just an overview of what happened legally speaking, first of all, I want to thank the community for coming out. Sister Diamond did an excellent job yesterday as a prelim or a precursor to what's going on right now. You made that happen. And we out here with Sister Colleen, who's been holding down since day one. His grandmother is out here with her. Where's Sister Crystal? Where's she at?
She must have walked off.
Wow.
There she is right here.
I still have to go to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, this is his girlfriend, Siani.
Siani?
Yeah, AJ's girlfriend, Siani.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I really want to thank the community for showing up, because if we don't show up and you don't have a concern to show them that they can't have this little boy right here, they will take him. They don't have no problems with that. Now, legally, before I even do that, I want to just piggyback on what Rev just said. Only a slight variation, because I'm into language. I'm a stickler for language. We have to watch the language that we use. The Rev said that the police officers were fearful. Oftentimes that's not true. They're not afraid, they hate us. They hate us with a passion, a deep-seated passion, and they're driven off of that. They always say they're fearful because they want to play the victim, where in our community we fear a police stop is a death sentence. You can get stopped for a traffic ticket when they're supposed to just give you your summons and send you on your way. But we know in our community, we die when the police stop us. So that's number one. Number two, the police officers involved, they're trained professionals, as the Rev pointed out. And we all know that, even those who are untrained, that you ain't got no business taking your gun out in an area where you got a whole bunch of babies running around. That's just math 101. All right, now, in terms of what happened just now in there, something that I seen that I like for now, because it can get ugly and it can go left real quick. Number one, I like that his lawyer was ready.
Hi, we out here this morning at the media courthouse.
She talked about, even though the prosecution, she filed a motion for discovery, and knowing full well that some judges would just override that and not really care about the rights of the accused. Because remember, he's innocent. In America, allegedly, we supposed to be innocent until proven otherwise.
Right.
But we know that that's not real in America. We know that you guilty, and because ain't no such thing as an innocent nigga on nothing. We just got you. We ain't. You may not have done what we about to give you, but you done something that we don't know nothing about.
Exactly.
That's their mind frame. But in terms of the lawyer being prepared, she talked about filing a motion for discovery. Now, for just the laypersons, discovery is the prosecution. They have the obligation to prove guilt or innocence, and in doing so, they have to give you all the information that they have, whether it's dealing with culpability, which is guilt, or whether it's dealing with actual innocence. They have to give you that. That process is called discovery. They give you the discovery, and the lawyer uses this information to prepare his defense. He has a constitutional right for a defense, to defend himself and all accusers. When somebody takes a stand and say AJ did thus and so, he can put him on the stand and say, okay, let me see what you motivated by. What's your motivation? And do discovery, that's what you use. So she filed for discovery, and I like that because already preliminary, I did my research, there's footage involved. And to my knowledge, at this point, none of the footage has AJ doing anything harmful to anyone. And so they got a problem. That's a big hurdle for them, a huge hurdle. And then secondly, she understood that some judges don't care about our rights and they'll just run over them. She said that, Judge, I'm prepared to argue right now.
Oh yeah.
So that tells me she was prepared. Now, whether she was pump faking or not, I don't know. But she said she was ready. And I know that the prosecution wasn't.
Yeah.
And they said and did what is called a postponement. That's a stall tactic. Keep you in the penitentiary or jail or prison or any of these death camps and so as long as they possibly can, so as to not to wear you down, to grind you up, to destroy your resolve, so you just throw your hands up and say, give me a deal. I just want the madness to stop. But we already know, as Sister Diamond pointed out yesterday, that he shouldn't have never been charged because the police have already conceded that they killed 8-year-old Fanta Billy. They killed him. So our question is, why are we here? If they admit that they paid money, Delaware County paid money, a substantial amount. But here's one of the backstories that's tragic. The family actually has to leave Delco because of the death threats. Yeah, they being threatened. Their child was murdered, and they're being threatened, so they got to leave because they fear for their life. So this is what we're dealing with in Delaware County. So we need to understand that. But at this particular juncture, I feel good about what just happened in the court in terms of the preparation of the attorney and the prosecution's traditional stall tactics to try to grind him up. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. Hotel. And I don't want nobody to go nowhere. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if the 14th is a date where a decision will be made, or they're just checking on the discovery. He said he would reschedule those for recertification, but he didn't schedule it, I don't think.
Right, he didn't. And see, that's why we always, any opportunity that they have in court, we got to be here.
The 14th as well.
We have to be here because you'd be surprised what you hear. And another thing too, just for FYI, when y'all come in, sit as close to the front as y'all possibly can. The courtroom is big, the acoustics is not that good, so you want to hear what's going on. You want to hear the judge talk. You want to hear the prosecution talk because they got their backs to you, so it's hard to really hear. So sit as close to the front as you possibly can so you can see and hear and feel everything that's going on. You have a right to be wherever you want to be. Go ahead, Diamond.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Diamond. I've been one of the community leaders on the forefront of this case for the past few years. I did just want to clarify a few things. Along with AJ, Hasim Shrin was also another black teen charged with first-degree murder. It was his family that moved out of state. They're now in Delaware because of the threats that they were receiving, but it's not a lie that the Billy family is also preparing to move out of the county. So there's a lot going on internally, but at the end of the day, we can't trust the system to ensure that our kids are protected, to ensure that they're going to learn a lesson because of what they've done, we've all made mistakes, we all sin differently, but it does not mean that we have to label a child as a juvenile, as a detainee, as an inmate, or even just the term of a bad child. A bad child does not exist in a community that is just based off of malicious investments. That is based on the environment. The child should not be labeled for that. So we have to continue fighting. We cannot forget that the DA, he already has malicious intent, so we can't expect him to move properly on this case for his office if he is already out here telling black families to stop contacting his office about the safety of their kids behind bars. So he has made his stance very well known. So I do want to reiterate that the 14th is very important, but so is the actual decertification hearing. So if I'm not mistaken, they said they're just going to do the motion that day. So if we can just keep our ears open and make sure that we come out in powerful numbers because our voice has a say.
Diamond, is the 14th, or does anybody know, is that when they're deciding whether he's going to be tried as a youth or as an adult?
No, the 14th is just for discovery.
How can, when are they deciding whether he's being tried as a youth or an adult?
So that's going to be at the end of January, most likely. We're talking right now because we're working on the social bio video for him. So ideally, it's going to be at the end of January. Because even after they get the motion for the discovery, she then has to have time to prepare for the evidence that they give her. So it's unlikely that on the 14th.
So it's coming after.
It's going to come after
the discovery process.
But don't count on that. Don't count on, like, technically he's correct, but don't count on that because they throw curveballs.
Oh yeah.
That's why I said every opportunity we have to be in the courtroom, be there, because it can go left real quick, just like that. But thank you for the clarification, Diamond, because you on point. You know this case better than anybody. One of the things that I want to say too, because she just reminded me again about language. Juvenile. Let's move away from the language of the court. He's a child.
Yes.
We and our whole thing is we here to let them know y'all can't have this child. He's not supposed to be in prison anyway. And if they start talking about bad child, that's a reflection of us. They talking about we a bad community now. Those of us who claim him, that's our child. So whatever you think about our child, you think that about us. And I dare anybody, like we was talking about yesterday, I dare any